Good morning, my friends, and welcome to my channel. Today, I thought we would go through my favorite completed pages for 2024. I recommenced my coloring journey in August of 2024, so I feel like I've only had, 4 months of coloring, but you know what? That's enough for me. So I've got all my pile of books here, so let's get started with our favorites. Also with me, I have my coloring records that I will share with you as well for each of my favorite pages. I did not start this straight away. I've brought this in maybe a month or two after I started coloring. So for the pages that I have the coloring swatches for, I will show you. Okay, so one of my first favorites is this double pager by Layla Julie in Beautiful Planet. So I think I've used about 9 different leaf combinations, and this entire page was colored with Prismacolor pencils, and I've used some pan pastel for the background. I was thinking about going in with pencil for the background, but I think by the time I'd colored these leaves, I was just ready to move on to a different page. So I thought, let's use pan pastel for a quick and effective background. And I think it's come up quite well. So I've used, in terms of technique, I've just used a blending technique. I've gone in with some shading. I don't have any embellishments on this page in terms of with gel pen. I feel it wasn't necessary at the time, given that there is so much color and vibrancy going on already. I think one of my favorite leaves on this page is actually this tiny one behind, that green one in the middle there. I really like the way the shadings come out, and I quite like this kind of rose, you could call it a rose gold leaf as well. The flowers have come out nice too. I mean, yeah, I'm quite happy with most of it other than the snake plant. I was a bit, I don't know, it's kind of a bit flat, but that's all right. So I really enjoyed this page, as much as of an effort it was to color. And I think I actually have the colors for this one. Let's go through my book. Wonder Morphia. Okay, here we go. So what have I used? So I've used combo number 1, I believe was for these leaves here. And I've just used a combination of all of these different colors, and you can see I've got like combos within combos. I think if you've watched some of my other videos, you would have seen this. So if you like any of these combinations, feel free to pause the video and take a screenshot. I think, so number 2, I think was these leaves here. And then if you're wondering what this interesting little duo down here is, that is for these leaves at the bottom. So I really enjoyed this page. I remember coloring a lot of it on live. So I do have some videos on my channel of live coloring, and these were featured on there. So these weren't a color along. These were, well, yeah, these 2 pages weren't a color along. These 2 pages were mainly done live, and I believe I've done a couple of blending tutorials. So you're welcome to jump on to my channel and my live playlist and have a look at those. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that one. I got the color combinations from My Colorful Country Life, and I really liking the way that they came out. So that's one of my first favorite pages. Let's see if I can get 10. I think I can. All right, my next one, which I think is probably up there with, even in, like a top 5. Where is it? I've got, it's in Wonder Morphia. What I'm thinking of, here we go. So this is my first Kirby page. And this was completed with Prismacolor pencils mainly, and just some Jelly Roll and some Signo pen for the embellishments. I'll bring it up a little bit. I have really tried to work on the detail for the mushrooms and for the leaves. I'm really quite happy with the way that the light and dark elements of the picture have come together. Especially this, I had trouble with this little gem. I tried to copy a tutorial and it wasn't a video tutorial, it was just a picture on Pinterest and I really struggled, so I just went over it and tried to blend it as much as I could. I'm quite happy with the soil combinations as well, and I've used some jelly roll for the grass and these different elements here. With white jelly roll, if you're putting it on purple or pink, the colours behind it will come through, so you can see that it's a bit more pink than I would have liked, but it kind of works. So in terms of colour combinations for this one, I think that was the first one in my book. Get rid of all my ribbons. Yeah, so the page 21 mushrooms and lily root. Oh, get it straight there for you. So again, you're welcome to screenshot any of these colour combinations. And you can see here that I've used quite a lot of different gel pens for different elements as well. So I like to go in with greys and blender pencils and Sharpies and Signos and jelly rolls and all of that. And is that? Yes, so that's it. That's it for that. So if you like any of these colour palettes. The only thing that I probably would have done with this leaf combination, instead of finishing on a spring green, as much as I like the way it looks, I think I could have gone a fraction lighter around the edges. So you might use maybe a grey green light or like a pale sage, which I actually have the colours here. They're itty bitty ones because I've been currently using them on a page. So, you know, I maybe would have gone in with these two colours around the very edges. And given that these pencils are so light, I could go back over it and lighten it up, but I think I'll leave it just because it is completed and the picture is on my socials, so I'll just leave it as is so that it's consistent. And I really like the texture of the background too. This was my first attempt at a fully burnished Prismacolor pencil background, and I think it's come up quite well. I don't think I would use it every single time, just given how long it takes, but it is effective. I'm currently learning different techniques for backgrounds, and I am watching a couple of YouTube channels just to see some different techniques and finding techniques that work for me. So that was another favourite page of mine. And let's go through this same book. This has got to be a top one for me as well. This is my most recently completed page. I think I finished this a couple of days ago. So this, I followed a tutorial for the metal and I've used rose gold. And again, this entire thing was Prismacolor pencils and most of it is Prismacolor pencils, and the flowers have actually been based in alcohol markers. And then I've gone through, let's see if it comes up in this light. If you can see that, with the flowers, I've used some Signo sparkly gel pens, just for some accents there on the flowers. And I've also used a Ohuhu glitter marker for the center of the flowers. And they've come up quite well. It's looking very Christmassy, very like old Frenchy. Some of them even look like poppies, like this particular one here reminds me of a poppy. And I wanted to keep the flowers all the same colour. I was debating whether I change them, but I wasn't quite sure what would go with it. So I thought, let's just make them all the same colour. And then with the bird, I'm debating whether I could have gone a lighter blue, but that's okay. And the entire background was done with Prismacolors as well. It was the same technique as that purple background that I just showed you. And the numbers and the clock hands have been used, that was jelly roll. And then with the little dragonflies or bugs or whatever you want to call them, I've just outlined the wings in a white gel pen. So I think that was the Signo as well. And I just had to go with doing some of the ends in, excuse me, some of the leaf tips in white gel pen as well, which I wasn't too happy about. So I just did one and left it. But I'm super happy with how this came out. I really like the color palette, and it was my first time coloring metal. So that one was super fun as well. There's a lot of different shading in this. I've used lots of different types of, or different colors of pencil for the metal. I could bring that out as well if you're looking for a rose gold color palette. There is lots to choose from. Okay, so if you have a look on Pinterest, there is lots to choose from, but I've gone with this one here. And so rather than blending, I've like a blending technique, I've just gone with shading. So I would start with my Deco Peach on the whole thing and then slowly bring the shading in, depending on the position of all the different elements and shadows that I wanted and contrast that I wanted and the depth that I wanted as well. And the flowers, yeah, the flowers were based with a Ohuhu cherry red alcohol marker. And then I've gone through with some different colors and accents, and the red glitter gel pen hasn't really come up that well on this page, but yeah, as you can see, that Ohuhu marker is so shiny. This one down here, it's one of my favorites. And some different colors for the leaves. This one was actually, the pencil choice was very limited, which I liked. Just gone some extras here. Like I say, it's limited, but no, I think it is. I think it's one of the pages that I haven't used as many pencils in. Okay, so that's one of my other favorite pages. There's a couple of other curvy pages that I've colored, but I wouldn't say they're in my top. So maybe I'll show them in my, if I do like a December completed pages, because some of them are in there. Okay, so that's Wondermorphia. Let's go with, I reckon this next page has to be my absolute favorite. In Johanna Basford's Secret Garden, this was one of the first pages that I did in entirely Prismacolor pencils. I did purchase a set of Prismas this year, and this was the first completed page that I've done. So I love this page. It's come up so well. I did find a page on Instagram for a reference, and I've taken that reference and I've tried to replicate it purely for educational purposes and practice. And while I think this is my favorite page for this year, I used so many different pencils. I reckon I had 50 plus pencils in this, just with the different shading and the layering. I remember sitting here just feeling absolutely overwhelmed with the sheer amount of choice that I had. But I'm really happy with the way that it's turned out, and I've learned so much about color choice and technique through coloring this page that the whole experience was invaluable. It was just, priceless. So one of my favorite things is these flowers here. So I've learned how to color white flowers and outline in white pen, and the same with these bee wings as well. This is one of my favorite techniques that I've learned. And also with this dandelion here, I use a technique from Chris Cheng's videos. So that's come up really well. And on this second page here, the original artist did add a lot more of her own flowers. I don't feel confident doing that, so I just coloured in what was there. But I still think it's come up really well. So I don't have a record of the colours that I used for this. I wasn't on YouTube at the time, and I just didn't think to record everything because I thought, oh no, it's fine. It was more of an afterthought about the book, but I kind of wish I'd gone ahead and done that. One of my other favorite, I suppose, techniques that I learnt with this was these kind of turquoise leaves here, how they kind of, to me, they pop off the page, and the way that I've shaded it really makes them look inverted, so it's the spine of the leaf that's coming through the most, and it looks like that is more forward and that the leaves are the individual like leaf part is at the back. And I think I'm really happy with that technique because I can go through now, and if there's any other leaves that are like this in the Johanna Basford books, which there are, I can follow this same technique, so I really like it. And I like the different types of greens and blues that are in them as well. So I wouldn't think to do this type of colouring if I didn't find the picture on Instagram, so I'm quite happy with it. And for sorry, I just bumped my camera. For some of the centres of the flowers, I've gone in with some Jelly Roll pen as well. The background is entirely Prisma. It's different layers and different colours, different shades of, I think there's definitely some pale sage in here. There's some grey. I don't think there's any grey-green light, but I think there is some apple green or spring green as well. So yes, this has got to be in the top. I absolutely love it. What else have I done that I liked? I think there was yeah, I like this one, but I'm not quite sure because I tried to make it a moon. It just feels a bit empty to me now, so I'm not quite sure if I would say it's in my top, but the technique was still good. I was practicing with, sorry, my stomach is rumbling. I'm so hungry. Yeah, I enjoyed practicing some technique in this page. Right, there's no other favourites in that one. Let's go to Enchanted Forest. I've got a couple of favourites in here. Okay, those particularly being, ooh, this was my first colour along this one, and my first attempt at pan pastel background. I think I went a bit heavy with it. Oh no, it's come off. As in, sorry, it hasn't come off, that's fine. And my first attempt at fixative, and I went in too hard with the fixative, as you can see, so I've sacrificed that page. But I do have another copy of this book, so I could go in that copy and do that. I'm really quite happy with the vibrancy. I love the colour combinations. I really enjoy ocean theme as well. It's something that I'd like to colour more in next year. I would like to purchase Johanna Basford's Lost Ocean and colour in more of those. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So it is a partial colour along. I think I went ahead and did the middle elements before I realised that I really should try a colour along video. So that is up on my channel if you're interested. And I do have the colour combinations here as well, if you are interested in those. Okay, let's bring that up there. So we have the ocean colour palette. And I think, yes, these were done with Prismas as well. This page was done entirely with Prismas, Pan Pastel, and Jelly Roll. I really shouldn't say it's done entirely with Prismas, and it really wasn't, hey? Then the sky was there was lots of colours in that colour combination there. Different reds, oranges and yellows for some other elements. Lots of greys, and again, lots of gels and embellishments, which I like to use. I really liked using, I saw this technique done, but on the rocks here, if you can see, I've just done a lot of dots to represent moss with gel pen, which I really liked. And I've tried using different types of materials for outlining the bugs and the plants. I think I ended up using Jelly Roll or a white Signo for that. And I've added in some grass here too. I quite like that technique. I've done that a few times now. And I think there is one more page that I really enjoyed that is my favourite in Enchanted Forest, and it's this, which has turned out to be a very Wicked themed castle. I really like the castle. The background, I changed tact with it quite a few times. I mean, just a little bit. I'm gonna say quite a few, maybe twice. I originally was going for a bokeh background. Well, a bokeh effect. It still is a bokeh effect, but it's just doesn't have the different layers of white circles. So yeah, I've tried to cover up my transition from the different layers of circles to just these white parts being the clouds and the green parts being the sky. It'll do. But I really like the corners of the pages with the leaves. I really like that. I brought in a lot of greys and blacks just to darken up that dark green even further. And I really liked how these leaves came out. And I really enjoyed all the sparkle and the shimmer as well. So, and I really, yeah, the pink castles come out excellent as well. I used a few different color combinations that I haven't before, and especially brought in that metallic gold pencil from the Prismas. So that is another favorite of mine. What else have I got here? Oh, and I've just got this bit of paper there just while everything settles. I did apply some fixative to this. I don't have anything else in this book colored. I need to get cracking. Okay, so this last page is a work in progress for me. So this is current WIP, but I believe that it will be a favourite of mine for this year. I hope to finish it before the year is out. So this is a page in Walk in the Woods by Layla Julie. And I'm very happy with how this has turned out, or how it is turning out. So I've based everything with alcohol markers from the leaves down to the different berries or the flower buds. And I've gone through and tried to be true to the colours that, because in the back of the book she does list what the species is, which I love it when people do this, or when illustrators do this, because I can go through and try and colour true to the actual image. So I believe this is an elder. It's here, so it's elder and wild cherry, and so I've really just gone with the elderberry colours, and I'm working on it at the moment, and I really am trying to be intentional with the shading and the background. I am watching a couple of Chris Cheng videos to see how she does her backgrounds. It is quite slow work, but I think the effect is really nice. So I'm just going in with the same green that has been on the leaves just to blend it through. And I'm tapering off with a chartreuse and pale sage and grey-green light just to blend into the white. I think I will leave a bit of white on the page, but that is coming up quite well. So this will be another favourite of mine. Actually, I have coloured in another page of hers that I really liked. Let's find it. Here. This was my first one that I've ever completed. So I did this one before I did the double pager leaf spread in the other book, and I really like the way that it's come up. I was a bit nervous about these ribbons, but they've come up pretty well. I did just do the background in some, it's like a pearly white, which it's kind of come up. It's kind of disappeared a little bit. I can just see it. I don't think you'll be able to see it on camera at all, but so I'm quite happy with that. A technique that I was practicing was with these berries. So I found a video on Shell's colouring journey on how she colours berries, and that's come up quite well. Another way that you could colour berries is by basing them in with the alcohol markers and then going in with pencil and laying white over the top for those highlights, which is what I'm actually doing. I'll go back to this page. This is what I am currently working on with these berries, is I've gone over the top with white. I don't know if you can see that well. And there is a little bit of pink in there as well. So I'm not finished with it. I might go in and add some more white, but I was pleasantly surprised with how the lighter colour Prismacolors actually apply over the top of darker alcohol markers. So that's my current WIP, but I believe this will be one of my favourite pages for this year as well. So yes, there are lots that I am working on. Oh, handy tip as well. I've been, rather than scrap paper, I'm using like a plastic sheet, which is like a binding, if you were to like ring bind your books, this is like a pack of front covers. So I've been using this here for the background, for the behind the page, because as you can see, there is a bit of bleed through, and I don't want it to bleed through to the other page. I do have a bit of pencil dust, but I will go through that and erase that out. So I've just got this at the back, and I find this works a bit better than scrap paper. So thank you for joining me. Those are my favorite colors my favorite pages for the year of 2024. And I feel I have achieved a fair amount in 4 months. And in 2024, I also started my YouTube channel, which was at the start of November. So I've only been up for a couple of months, but it's been a fantastic journey so far. If you have any other suggestions for videos or things you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. I do schedule out my YouTube videos and I plan ahead. So if there's anything that you would like to see specifically, please let me know. Even if you have any questions in regards to technique or color choices, let me know. I can create a video for you as well, or guide you to one that's already been filmed. So if I don't talk to you before the end of the year, which I most likely will, but if I don't, I hope and pray that you have a lovely and a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, and a safe one as well. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.